What's going on, everyone? This is Jonathan Lacey, and I'm joined here with Isaac Wood, my co host. Isaac, tell the people what's up.
What's up, people? Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are back with another episode of the Weapon X podcast, and thank you guys for joining us today. Yeah, before we jump in, just make sure you are wherever platform you're listening to this podcast on, whether it's YouTube or audio, make sure you are following the podcast and staying up to date. We appreciate the support. And guys, today's episode, you guys are going to be in for a, I don't even say like a good, I don't know if good is even a good way to to even really just explain it, because the issues that we're going to be covering today, for Wolverine, man, like all we can say is that like Wolverine is he's back. He is
This is
back.
heavy. This is
Yeah,
some
this
heavy
is
stuff.
heavy. Um, and I will just warn you now, this is definitely not for the faint of heart. It's pretty gruesome. It is pretty gruesome. I will say that. But yeah, guys, obviously the name of this podcast is Weapon X, and Weapon X is where Wolverine was created. Like that's where it originated from, and Wolverine obviously is one of my, if not, he is my favorite. I won't even call him a hero. Like call him an anti-hero, because like that's what he is. But this man in these comics that we're going to be covering, we'll be covering issues 41 through 42, and it's titled the Sabertooth Wars. And boy, I feel like war is just being putting it politely.
Yeah, I feel like you could call it the Sabertooth assault, pretty much.
Facts,
Uh,
facts.
because I mean, yeah, the story is pretty interesting though. I mean, it's definitely a different take on Sabertooth, from what I've seen in the past. And for everyone who doesn't know, I mean, so this is pretty much a story where Sabretooth has a tradition of like every year for Wolverine's birthday, he tends to try to make that day as horrible as he can for him. And for this year, Sabretooth's been going from multiverse to multiverse, pretty much collecting different versions of himself, to pretty much mount and all hands-on assaults on Wolverine and his team, and it is brutal.
Yeah, yeah.
Brutal.
And for for people, if you're listening to this and you may not know who Sabretooth is, Sabretooth is like Wolverine's number one enemy. Like let's say I'm put into in sports term. It's basically the like in college, but as college, it's like the Ohio State and Michigan. It's like UNC versus Duke. It's that type of rivalry between these two where they dislike each other so much, and both of them were created, by the same exact people.
Yeah, they worked
um,
with each other for years.
yeah, so they have a long history with each other. Um, this in this issue though, like in issue 41, it starts out right away. You see Sabretooth just ripping open Cyclops' head. You
Yeah,
know, like it was like Isaac, when you, because I know when I told you about this, you were like, huh? Like what?
yeah, dude,
Yeah,
I
like
was shook.
when you first, yeah, like when you first saw that, how did you feel in that?
Yeah, oh man, I was shocked, man, because I've never seen anything, I guess, to that magnitude in a comic before. I
Hmm.
would say at that point, because I mean, you see stuff in, like in darker stuff, like Berserk, but for Marvel, like this was dark. I mean, you just see him with his hands literally like on the halves of Cyclops' head,
Yeah,
and he's just peeling them, and it's like, oh my gosh! And like in the process, you see this room full of different saber tooths and whatnot, just just there waiting for like their opportunity to go find somebody else. And it's almost like you're seeing like a pack of wolves or lions, I guess, being formed who are ready to go hunt. And it's like, man, whoever's that prey is gonna get it.
Yeah, yeah, and it's absolutely nuts though because when you get to the oh man, I think yeah, like in the very beginning, kind of like you were saying, it kind of reminded me of like at the end of Ant-Man Quantumania, like when all the kings
Mhm.
were wrapped around the stadium and they just were just looking down and chanting. It basically gave me that kind of vibe because you see all of these different versions um of Sabertooth from different universes. And
Mhm.
by the way, I love how they're integrating that now too and into like the X-Men slash like Wolverine
Mhm.
now because I think that's kind of cool. But anyway, this this comic though, like when after that, I remember ah, I think it was after he finished, giving the Cyclops the business. Um,
Mhm.
it it was just one of those things where you like he had that look in his eyes where he wanted to go after Wolverine. Like that's why he was ripping open Cyclops' head.
Yeah. Also, audience, we should note. So this isn't the like Cyclops that we know in the current Marvel universe or whatnot. It was like a
Mhm.
different version, I think,
Yeah.
which doesn't make it that much better. But it's like, okay, this isn't our Cyclops, but if that Cyclops got murked like horribly,
It,
uh
yeah, it's gruesome, man.
yeah.
But and this issue too, though it involved I would say with Black Tom was
Mm.
I think was he supposed to serve as like Professor X and
I think so. Because I think he may have been a part because like I'm still kind of behind in all the issues,
yeah
but I
yeah
think he may have been part of like Mr. Sinister's like Hellfire Club or something like that. Like he was kind of involved with that,
that
I
would make
think.
sense.
But yeah, I mean, it seems like he can connect with these plants and pretty much has like a similar type of mental ability, like Professor X, to be able to like look on like a very wide area and kind of see all
Hmm.
the movement and whatnot and kind of see who's there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I forget his name, but I think he's like I can't tell if he's like Legion or if his name is like Kid Omega, but he's like the super strong, mutant. And I mean, you see him looking into back at Krakoa, which is where like Sabretooth and his crew are going. And when they catch him, bro, it was so bad. It's like
he
they jumped him, man.
he did not stand a chance.
He
He
didn't.
did not stand a chance. And you should say this too. It was cool that they have Wolverine's daughter
Mm-hmm.
too in there as
23.
well. Like I think that was pretty cool because for people that've seen Logan, that X-23 is his daughter, and she was pretty ba in that movie. Not gonna lie, but
Yeah.
in this comic though, you see her, and she kind of knew something was up here. Like she's kind of like, something does not feel right. Like I can tell something's not right here. And then, sure enough, like if correct me if I'm wrong, but like didn't it end where like the scene, like you know what I'm talking about. Like did it end there after she kind of sensed that something was wrong and after he got jumped, and this is in issue 41.
Yeah, I think that's how 41 ended. But yeah, like leading up to 41 was crazy too. Cause I mean,
Hmm.
cause like the way that they pretty much like, track down Wolverine at his base with all the other mutant kids and other members of the team. And then it's because it was never clear about how many Sabretooths there were, but whenever you saw them approaching, it was like a like 50 of them, it
Yeah,
seemed
it
like.
was like an arm. Yeah, it was like an army of
It
them.
was, dude. It was so intimidating, especially like seeing them pop up in the snow and whatnot, kind of get closer and kind of
Hmm.
stalk everybody. And but I mean, it was cool to see like a different character there, like one of Wolverine's sons. I hadn't
Hmm.
like even heard of him before, but I think he may have been like a clone of like Daken or something,
Yeah.
which is Wolverine's biological son. But it's crazy to see, I guess how Sabretooth and his crew literally like jumped him and like tore him apart pretty much for Wolverine to find, bro.
And guys, the way that this issue ended, basically everybody that was at that camp, and and his daughters, and like his daughters, like she was away from this. She was with Black Tom, but the way that this ended, basically everybody's like limbs and heads spelled out "Happy Birthday," and it was waiting. It was right there waiting for Wolverine. And
Mhm.
of course, you have Sabretooth sitting right there, just waiting.
Yeah.
It's oh,
It's like at the entrance of the camp, you got Wolverine's son's body, and then like some other mutants who are out there with his son, just kind of like watching the area, and it's like, yo, this is crazy. And then after that, like of how Wolverine tried to fight him off, but they jumped him too,
yeah,
and they strung him up, and they left him outside the wait so he could hear the screams inside the building as they continue to kill
so
everybody else.
messed up, man. And 42 picked up with Wolverine, basically just hang like he's basically hanging there,
Hmm.
still, and he is you can tell he's hurt that he wasn't able to protect them,
Hmm.
and do anything about it. Because I mean, like as strong as Wolverine is, you taking on or not two, multiple Sabertooths. So, and
Hmm.
and just to kind of give you a picture of how big Sabretooth is. So I think it's 6'6", six
Yeah,
seven, and
yeah,
like
six
three
seven.
hundred and eighty pounds.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's a big dude. All right, and and when we say like 380 pounds, like we don't mean like sloppy 308. Like this dude is like
Pure
yoked.
muscle.
Yeah, just yoked. like, like you see this man's biceps and legs, and it's like, yeah, no, no, no.
Yeah, and like Wolverine is like 5'3", and like what is I think he's almost 300 pounds, isn't
I
he?
think he's
With
like
like the
with it,
adamantium.
including, yeah,
Yeah.
he's like 300 pounds. Hmm.
Which I mean, seeing them having to try to fight like 20 Sabertooths, like who are already super powered like him, have somewhat of a healing factor and are just crazy strong. I mean, that was crazy to watch, and I mean he was taking out a couple of them before they got him down and tied
Yeah,
him up.
and that was just based off of like this pure rage,
Yeah.
just being just infuriated. But of course, man, like yeah, take one person versus, like you said, 20 some odd people. It's not usually going to be in your favor. You
Nah.
know? Hmm.
They jumped him. They did a good job at jumping him. But I will say that everyone who was like on the inside, like fighting back, was doing a pretty good job. Because I mean, you had X-23, fighting back. Domino was there.
Yeah,
And then these like Wonder Twin characters, which I think might be like related to Quicksilver in a sense.
yeah.
I
Uh,
think they.
it, the crazy part though
Mm,
was when I think, yeah, they were back at Black Tom's base,
mm,
and I remember, of course, like X-23, like she was there, but they were like, oh, like look who came in, and and it looks, seems to be Wolverine, but as it gets closer, you realize, oh crap, like this is actually another version of Sabretooth that looks just like Wolverine. But my thing is though, how do you mix Wolverine up with somebody that big?
I
Like
know.
he just grow, he just like grow like that? Like what?
I think he like shapeshifted. Like I think that variant of Sabretooth may have been like related to Mystique in somehow, like
See,
in
that's
some way.
scary.
Because because I mean they kind of do this in comics where there are like different I guess combination of certain mutants that we know. Because I think there was like another universe where like Wolverine and Mystique had a child or like a son. And I think he could shapeshift too, but he also had claws as well. So
That's
I think that variant of Sabretooth was like a shapeshifter, which is how he could like change into people and kind of confuse you, and then he strikes,
Man, like
which is a
that's
deadly combo, bro.
yeah, like this just hearing those things like ah
That's so scary. It's
yeah
like he can completely change from one person into this big hulking figure ready to tear you apart. It's like, oh
yeah.
my gosh.
And what's crazy, X-23 knew, she knew something wasn't right because I think she could tell by his scent.
Hmm.
Like, she was like, so like it does not, something's not right here. And
Yeah.
then sure enough, yeah, like he sent I think it was Rogue
Domino, bro.
with
Like
Domino.
he like backhanded her. Sent her flying.
Yeah, yeah, he sent her flying, dude. And man, like the way that, because I know who was it? I think they ended up, there was another version of Sabretooth that ended up taking Omega Red's, like his animating
His
tentacles
tentacles,
too.
bro, and like that's how they strung up Wolverine. Because I mean, because normally like nothing else could really like hold him, because he'll probably cut it and whatnot. But they tied him up with like adamantium, yeah, like tentacles from like another version of Omega Red, which is crazy. But the how we got out of that, bro, was so like
She
Wolverine's pain resistance is on another level.
yeah. Wolverine, you talk about somebody that it just, he knows pain. Like when you hear the word pain, it's like, yeah, like he knows that. He knows that.
It's like he didn't
um
hesitate too, bro.
no.
Like like you can tell the people what he did to get out, but bro, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
No. So like you know, the way he, because then yeah, he like ripped off his, he like basically was pulling so hard that he ripped limbs, like he ripped part of his arms off.
Yeah, like he like pretty much like severed his joints like in his like wrist and kind of like yanked off his whole
Yeah.
hand. He did the same with his feet to get
Yeah.
out.
And mind you guys, remember, he has the healing factor. So like that's why he was like, all right, whatever. Like that's, I don't care if I
Mhm.
lose a hand, because he can grow it right back.
Yeah, bro. Like he did it with like I think he did it with both hands and with both feet, and like he's literally like running around on like stumps, and like his claws still work, but they just like come out of like his wrist right here,
Mhm.
and he can still use them. But it's just crazy. He's just running with these bloody stumps, just taking down Sabertooths, and just
Just relentless, man. That, oh my
like
gosh.
he don't give up. It's
No, he
crazy.
doesn't. He doesn't. And that's like, I think that's one of the things that kind of gravitated me towards him. Like just as a kid, just seeing, how BA this guy was, where it's like no matter how hard he was getting his butt kicked, he would
Mm,
always keep getting back up, because he's like, I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna make you quit in order
pretty
to
much.
win, you know. So but to keep track on the comic though, with when he was walking around these stumps, and when he finally, you know, destroyed the Sabertooth that was in his path, when he got back to Black Tom's base.
Yeah, it was kind of unclear about what happened to X-23 because last we saw, or Laura, like she was like fighting off like three Sabertooths. Like she decapitated one. I think she was clawing up another one, and like another one kind of like surprised her. So,
I almost, the speculation there is that Sabretooth killed her.
oh, you think so?
That's the speculation that I get, because again, like you said, to start out this comic series, Sabretooth, for his birthday, his tradition for these birthdays are to make Wolverine's birthday as terrible and horrific as possible.
Mm.
Like he purposely goes out of his way to, like, he hates Wolverine so much that he will go out of his way to make sure his birthdays are terrible.
I know, bro. He's
So
so
petty,
petty, bro.
so
This man
petty.
has his calendar marked. Like, all right, what am I gonna do this year?
Yeah,
And
like
it's
that. He plotted this. He took
he
the time to
planned it.
plot this. That's crazy,
Bro,
man.
it is crazy. And I don't know, with X-23, I do think she's still alive for the moment
Yeah.
because like in issue 42, like So like how Sabertooth and his men got onto the base, pretty much had this device which kind of like shut down Black Tom's powers as well as
Hmm.
like the other telepathic lady that was with them. Because if they were still active, like their security measures were like taken out Sabertooth's army like easily. And we
Hmm.
kind of see that, like once they wake up, pretty much they start activating their vines or whatnot in their system to like take them out, and Sabertooth has to retreat. So some tells me that a few of the Sabertooths probably grabbed Laura, ran out of the base, and it's probably gonna do something
Hmm.
next issue. To kind
I
of like
know
make Wolverine make a choice about do you want her to die or somebody else.
we have to wait 2 weeks because it comes out every 2 weeks.
Does it?
And so yeah, I'm just like, oh man, like how? Because I guess there's gonna be like 10 parts
Oh wow,
to this. 'Cause, like from what I saw, I think there's gonna be 10 parts to this story, which I'm like, hey, dude, I'm all here for it. Like
I'll
this,
read it.
yeah, the story is dark, but I think I'm just glad, for the people that know the original Wolverine, back in like the 90s and 80s and 70s, like how dark this character is, especially the old man Logan as well. Um, I feel like this comic is getting back to his true roots. And that they're not giving us the kid friendly, X-Men 97 like version. What I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's not they're sticking to his origins, and I
Mhm.
actually, I mean, I love it. I think they need to do more of that. To be honest with you,
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, especially with like a man who can make these super sharp claws come out of his hand. I mean, of course, he's gonna be stabbing people
right?
at the
You mean to
face.
tell me he's not going to, like, he's just stabbing robots?
I know, bro. They used to kill me in the comics where he'll like stab a robot and then like kick a dude or something like that. He would
Yeah,
never. It's like
yeah,
if they had like a gun, he like cut off the barrel and then kick a dude in the face and then run
yeah.
to
He's
someone
like,
else. And
really,
yeah, get.
he just tried to shoot you. He just
I
tried.
know. It's like you
You
better
have
shake him
claws.
right now.
You have claws.
Yeah, you know you want to.
The best thing you can do is stab robots.
But yeah, but bro, like other than with these two issues, like it's kind of got me back into the Wolverine comics because I hadn't really been a part of them. So like I actually started back at issue 1 of this run, and I'm all the way up to like issue 7, and just the stories they have up to that point are just crazy, man. I mean, like he's fighting vampires, he's fighting rogue mutants. Omega Red is in it. It's really fun.
This is like, again, this is Wolverine, and
Mhm.
I stand on it when I say that I think he is probably like one of the most iconic like Marvel characters out there, and I think we owe part of that to Hugh Jackman as well, for playing him and in all of these movies that we've seen with him over the years, and um I'm just glad that they're making Deadpool 3. Obviously, he's going to be in there,
Yep.
and I'm so curious to see how it's going, because it's a Deadpool movie. It's going to have an
Mhm.
R rated movie or R rating,
Has
so
to.
I'm sure it's going to be gruesome in,
Yeah.
in different aspects. But yeah, this is it's just cool, like being able to kind of like you said get back into this because I saw this. I'm that person that always looks at like, all right, what comics came out this week? And when I saw this back, issue 41 2 weeks ago, I'm like, dude, with Sabertooth, like you look at the cover and it looks absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
It looks so terrifying. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to check this out because this, like, and it tells you on the front of the cover, this is not for kids. Like, parental advisory, do
Yeah.
not, like, if you're 10 years old, do not read that comic. You
Yeah. I mean, if you want your kid to see any type of Wolverine, I mean, I would say get them like an X-Men comic, maybe, because
Yeah,
they kind of like, well, I don't know. Like this current issue I've been reading, it kind of varies, but like earlier ones, they would like tone down Wolverine's violence to a degree, to where it
but
wasn't
now,
as bad. But now, bro, nah, they're not. They're
man,
not. They're not holding back.
Nope. Yeah. I would not recommend it for a little kid. But yeah, needless to say, for people, like our age and up that grew up with Wolverine, you will be happy reading this and just give you that nostalgia feel.
Yeah. Also, in like an issue 42, it was cool to see that, like Colossus was also there as
Yeah.
well. So it's like, okay, that's a good ally to have against an army of Sabertooths. You're gonna need that armored giant to help you out, bro.
Facts, facts, dude.
Because
I'm curious how I almost wonder if the X-Men in the end are gonna like team up with them. Like I don't know. Just curious.
I think at this point in the story, so before that, like pretty much most of the world's mutants were on this island called Krakoa, which was pretty much like
Mhm.
like the world's first mutant nation. Something happened to where like a lot of the people got dispersed and like a lot of the team got dispersed too, and now
Mhm.
they're being hunted down by like anti-mutant factions and sentinels that I think are made by like Tony Stark, which still I'm behind in the comics, so I need to
Yeah,
catch up in that.
yeah,
um but yeah, everyone's scattered, so I don't know who's going to help them right now, like
yeah,
other than who's already with them.
yeah. Because I mean, obviously, like that, like kind of like you were hinting at with Colossus, you're going to need help. Like you're not going to be able to take on this many Sabertooths by yourself.
Yeah,
Like that's a lot of manpower.
you need it, bro. Especially since, like in the past, Wolverine has always fought like one saber tooth to like a stalemate, usually,
Mhm.
which granted, like, like our version of saber tooth seems to be the strongest one out of the multiverse from what we've seen so far, because all the other ones like, follow him and are seem to be weaker than him, which is good.
Right?
We
Yeah.
need that. But
Real.
yeah, bro, I'm curious how they're gonna do it. And I do want to see how Wolverine heals himself after cutting off his hands and his feet, bro.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's gonna have to reattach those somehow.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
don't
Because
know.
yeah, you can't just go throughout the rest of this war just stubbing around. Like
Yeah, man, he's stumped up,
yeah, got nubs.
dude. It's like those like thumbs off of Spy Kids.
Yeah, bro. Like yeah, you can't. Yeah, like come on, man.
This man can't pick anything up.
Yeah, because like that'd be messed up. The
He ain't
saber
got no
tooth just
on his
chucking this
feet.
man. Bad. Nah, that's terrible. But I so my my question for you and like kind of like the final question is like what is like the most memorable Sabertooth versus Wolverine face off that you remember seeing on screen?
Hmm. For me, I mean, and this because I was a kid, first experiences with like
Hmm.
comics, but I would say in the first like live action X-Men movie, when you see like Sabretooth come out of the woods and pushes the like tree down in front of like Logan's truck when he's like, like after he finds Rogue and kind of like is taking her somewhere to where she can be warm. And then you just see him get jumped by Sabretooth off rip, bro. Like
You
he
talking about
had a
Tyler Maines? Are you talking about Tyler Maines? Sabretooth? And
yeah.
yeah.
That one. It's like the way that he like this man really like had a tree and like hit Logan like a baseball and sent him flying,
Yeah, he
bro.
sent him. I remember that. Yeah.
That was
He
crazy
sent
to me.
the man, dude.
And like to me, like that was like because I mean that scene didn't have like a lot of action in it, but to me it was like, oh, like this is gonna be the guy that's gonna cause some issues. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's oh man. Yeah, that I remember like that was like early in the movie too.
mhm.
And so yeah, that's great. Oh man. And that I think something like that similar did happen in comics too though.
Yeah.
Where they were like it's like a bar fight that
Mhm.
happened with them. Um I would say for me, the one that kind of sticks out to me, I think it was like the second time in the animated series when Sabretooth and Wolverine have faced off. Because I know the first time Sabretooth like hunted him down in Alaska, and then they fought there. But the one that sticks out to me is, I guess, when Sabretooth went to the mansion, and
Mm,
he went and he hunted down Wolverine, and they started fighting there. And of course, kind of like I was saying about his him being so relentless, no matter what. Like Sabretooth was throwing this man, like, just like bear hugging this dude so hard and squeezing the life out of him. And I remember like Wolverine actually like, got out and like threw him. But I remember one quote that kind of stuck with me. I think it went something like, because obviously how small Wolverine is. He said,
mm,
you always pick on guys that are smaller than you. Well, here's your chance. Like, pick on me. And I was just like, yo, this man, like, like
dang.
he's not afraid. And I just love that about Wolverine. Like, no matter what, he's always going to be relentless. And you can sit there and tell me that there wasn't a part of him that wasn't scared.
Mhm.
He knew like he had to fight back,
Yeah.
you know, and I think I don't know. I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah. It does seem like Wolverine has never like feared Sabretooth, but more so he would like fear for others because it seems like
Mhm.
Sabretooth doesn't have a line for who he will mess with to kind of mess with you, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he went after his daughter.
He did went after, yeah. And I think like on like a past birthday, like he actually killed like Wolverine's wife, like back when he was like, I forget when it was, but like, Wolverine's crazy old. So he's lived so many lives and whatnot. But it was like in one of those times he had a wife and Sabretooth like killed her on his birthday.
I
You remember
remember
that?
as you say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that that's so messed up, man. It's so
Yeah.
messed up. Oh, yeah. But like, but again, like, that's I think that's why, Wolverine. I think part of that is just like some of I think probably majority of it is hate that he has for Sabretooth, but it's also like some of it is like, nah, like, I want to avenge my wife. And
Yeah.
like I just I don't know, like just reading back over these comics,
Mm.
as an older man now, and like being able, being married, having kids and stuff, and it's like, nah, dude, like you would do anything to protect your family,
Yeah. That's
you know.
true, bro. And I mean, these two issues definitely show that because it seems like in this current comic run, like back when all the mutants were back on Krakoa, they somehow had a way of resurrecting people when they died, but now they don't have that. So
Mhm.
it seems that people who are dying are dead. Like you're not going to see them again, and it's
Yeah,
like, man,
yeah, that's that's heavy. As
yeah,
like we said at the beginning of this episode, it is heavy, and is this is not for the faint of heart. Hmm.
for real. And I
No.
mean, like another thing I do kind of like about this comic is that I mean, we all know that like Wolverine has a potty mouth, and I mean the comics show that so well to
Oh
me
yeah.
because like it seems like with like every other sentence, it doesn't actually like show the word that he's saying. It's like
Well, we
some
know.
bad. Yeah, it's like we know what he's trying to say, but they just can't write it out. It's like dang, but it's like dude, like every other sentence, I'm like, man, dude, you need to watch your mouth.
Yeah, but like you beep, you beep. Just keep hitting the bleep button.
To bleep. Ah, and I
But
mean, like
like,
Wolverine is so petty too, bro,
yeah,
in himself.
he
I
is. He
mean,
is. Like,
like the stuff I'm doing this run is crazy, man. Because I was reading like an earlier issue, and like it was an issue to where he had to like he stole Magneto's like helmet so that way he could like fight against someone who could use like mental abilities. But when he brought back the helmet, bro, he actually used it as a pee bucket, bro. So he peed in it and then gave it back to
that
Magneto, bro.
is petty.
I know it's like, dang, Wolverine can be pretty douchey when he
Yeah,
wants to.
that's why I categorize him as an anti-hero. Like,
Yeah,
he is not a superhero. Like,
no.
he's not a poster child like Captain America, or like Spider-Man. Like, it's just like that. This is not this is not him.
It's
And
not, bro.
I think I appreciate the authenticity. Because like he's not like he's basically like, hey, this is me. Either accept me or you can get the stepping. So like,
Which
that
is
that's his
crazy.
mentality.
Yeah, because I mean, it's funny. Like I have so many moments reading these comics now where I'm like, yeah, Wolverine, good job. Other times I'm just shaking my head like,
It's
bro,
like,
why'd you do
no,
that?
no, Wolverine, no.
You didn't have to do that, you know? You had to pee in Magneto's helmet. Like,
Yeah,
I get that he's wronged you in the past, but come on, bro.
petty. That is so petty, man. But hey, I guess he had to send a message. So
I guess so, man. It is funny because like how he got the helmet, like him and Magneto were like, drinking at a bar. Cause like currently, like, most of the villains and whatnot who were, villains and the heroes are kind of like, starts like work together to like better build the like mutant nation.
mhm.
And like they have this council where Professor X is on it, Jean, Nightcrawler, dude, Apocalypse is on the council, Mr. Sinister and like the Hellfire Club are on the council,
Oh,
Magneto and like some of his brotherhood are on the council and whatnot, and they're all kind of like friends in a sense now, which is crazy.
that yeah, that would blow my mind.
Dude, that
Just
had me shook too, because I
yeah,
mean,
because
dude, like,
Sinister and all those, that's crazy.
yeah, man. I mean, because like they kind of like maintain order on the nation. Because I mean, because right now they have like a policy to where like any mutant can come, no questions asked. Like even if they have like a questionable past, you know. Because like even Sabertooth came to the island, but they ended up punishing him because he broke the rule as soon as he got there, which is like no killing
Shocker,
humans, and he
shocker,
did that, bro.
shocker.
I know. Like who would have thought Sabertooth was gonna break the rule? I mean, come on.
But
Yeah.
like, needless to say, guys, like if we like to kind of like wrap things up, check out this comic.
Mm.
Like you hear the story because like Isaac is he said he was 7 issues in, like he started back to issue 1, and um, guys, this this is like where you want. If you are a fan of Wolverine or just like anything X-Men, check this comic out. Um, like this is going to be your like that nostalgia.
Mhm.
Guys. Isaac, before we head out, do you have anything you want to leave the people off with?
Yeah, I would say that I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And like if you guys want to get into comics, or if you have read this comic and you have some other thoughts about it, share it with us in the comments. And yeah, I mean, you guys have a great week.
Yeah, yeah. Make sure, and again, like, thank you for joining us. And yeah, if you made it to this far into the episode, make sure that you are following. And if you're listening to YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel and stay up to date. And we will be back next week. You guys have a great night. Peace.
Peace out.